Hello and welcome back to my channel, Bookish Lady Night, where we get a look behind the book. Today, I am very excited as I'm joined by one of my favorite authors, Leila James. She is the brilliant mind behind several series, including the Brothers of Hawthorne Hall, the Bastards of Bainbridge Hall, and the Brutal Boys of Cin series. And we're going to be diving into her series today. We're going to talk about her characters and her inspiration behind these dark, captivating worlds. And if you have not read them, this is your notice that you need to, and especially in audio. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Awesome. Great. Thanks for having me.
I'm very excited. So, for anyone who's new to your work, how would you describe the books and the world that you've created?
Ooh, little dark, like not super dark, I wouldn't say, but it's dark-ish. College, why choose romance, of course. Yeah, there's a lot of kind of suspense built into, so like I hardly know how to categorize it at
Yeah.
times
Yeah.
when it comes to different like Amazon and whatever, it's hard to say what's actually gonna work for it. But,
Yeah.
yeah, there's definitely, it's pretty plot heavy, I would say,
Lots of
but
mystery.
also lots of mystery, fairly character driven as well. Like, they each have very distinct, I feel like, personalities that you get to know. So, yeah, they're my babies. That is my favorite world that I have created so far.
It's
So
really good. It's really good. So, did you always want to be an author, or did something kind of happen and it was like the catalyst?
I always love this question. No, actually, I was a teacher for 7 years, stopped teaching, had some kids, sold kitchen products for, like, 14 years and stayed home with the children,
Yeah.
and then I got to a certain point. I have, like, a degenerative disc disease in my back. It makes it hard to lift a lot of things, and I don't know if you know anything about, like, say, Pampered Chef cooking shows, but, like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
used to literally take bags of products with me to shows,
Oh,
and they were just so heavy and, like, dealing with all the moving. I was just like, "You know what? I'm not gonna be able to do this forever. Like, what am I gonna do?" And, I always have loved to read, though. Always, always, always. Big reader, all the way from, like, all the Nancy Drew books when I was young, like, all that kinda stuff. I just read, 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 probably where the mystery and all that comes in. But so that's kinda where it started, was the fact that I was looking for something else to do.
mhm.
And I just kind of decided, "You know what? Why not give it a shot?" So one day I sat down and just started writing, and yeah, 50 books later, I don't know what happened.
I love that, I love that. I'm glad that you moved on from that and then fell into this world of writing that we get to enjoy your stories. I
Yep,
love
I
that.
love it, and it doesn't seem like work to me. Like, lots of things that I've done have seemed like work,
Yeah, well, that's important.
and this doesn't seem like it, and, like, I enjoy doing it, so, like, it's pretty common to see me sitting right here in my office, like, on a weekend like today, and I'm just tapping away at my keyboard, so
That's great, that's
it's all
great.
good.
So what drew you to kind of the darker themes and, like, the secret society and that type of writing?
Mhm. Well, first, I would say I wrote 22 books that were nowhere near that, that
Mhm.
were much more contemporary, just kind of mainstream, small town-ish, that are under a different pen name. They just didn't sell very well. And the funniest part was that it wasn't really what I was reading at the time either. So I was like, "Why are you not writing what you like to read?" So that's where I kind of flipped the script and swapped up pen names, genres, and boom, that's where we and of course, actually that wasn't my first series. Like Kingston University World wasn't my first darker one, but that is where it really turned to that because I'm actually secretly right now kind of giving my very first Leila James series kind of a polish. And it's
Okay.
gonna get a recover soon. That's Rosehaven Academy. So, yeah, so that's getting a little bit of a tweak, and it is seeing, like, interior tweaks and expansions and kind of fleshing out of the characters and things like that. But that's kinda where that started, and that one truly is, I would say, for several books anyways, are kind of a bully type
Yeah.
deal, and I just kind of went even darker when we got to Kingston University, which I don't know, I just enjoyed it being darker. I don't know, it's just kind of where my brain went, and my brain just keeps going darker, so I don't know what that says about me. I
No,
don't know.
I don't think it's just anything about the person. I just think it's your creativity and
Yep.
your pushing boundaries that need to be sometimes pushed, and it will help somebody in some capacity reading it, because I
Right.
feel like all of the books that are out there will help someone feel seen or not feel alone, or
Mhm.
just bring them closer to other people that they maybe feel like they're lost. So
Yeah.
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 So this story is very elaborate plot. Like, I don't even know how your mind came up with this. So I have to ask, are you a plotter or a pantser or somewhere in between? Like, how did this come about without giving spoilers? Because it's fascinating
Mm.
to me.
Yeah, so kind of a little in between-ish. I do tend to write better and faster when I have a plot that I have kind of mapped out. That said, sometimes I get into a scene and I am just pantsing my butt off. Just I get in there and the characters say something and I'm like, seriously, y'all, that isn't what we were supposed to be doing in this chapter. And then I kind of have to figure out how to work it in because clearly if it was there in my head, then I I don't know how that happens because something will go in and then 60,000 words down the line, I'll be like, now I understand that. So I don't know how that happens. That said, originally Brothers of Hawthorne Hall, that was supposed to be it. It was just that
Okay.
trilogy and it ended up being 3 trilogies, as you know.
Yes.
Um, so yeah, I have a massive whiteboard over at the side of my office. It is very complex. I once I wrote, without being spoilery, once I wrote the scene at the auction
Yes.
in Canon, I believe was the book that had the auction scene in it.
Yeah.
Um, I kinda had a, "Hmm, well, they'd be fun to write"
Yeah.
moment, and so that's where they came from, but then they're, that whole it's connected in a way.
Yeah.
In several ways, actually, and then that one is then more connected to the 3rd series, so they just kinda kept
Point.
I don't know what
I
happened.
found it so fascinating. Like, so first of all, the first book, with Elliot and like
Mhm.
all the stuff that she does, like she's such a badass. Like she's so cool. She's my And then she says, like, she sees somebody or you hear somebody, and then you're bringing in these other series. And like that series, like without giving spoilers, you don't like the people that are in that scene at all.
Right,
Like you hate them.
right.
But then you see them from
I've
the
had
other
some
series.
people told me they weren't going to read the 2nd series because they
Oh
hated them.
my God. Like, but just even to
It's
think
like
like them in that scene, like,
Mhm,
and then reading them like their other like real selves, like,
mhm,
she's like, they're menacing and they're mean and they're this and they're that. And you're like, and then
mhm.
and then when you read their books, you're like like laughing to yourself because it was like totally not what it appeared to be. And
Right.
it was so good. And then in the when I was reading the last series, again, you have flashbacks to the first book and they're seeing,
Mhm,
Elliot run around, and then you're seeing that scene again. And then you're seeing these other
mhm,
dynamics like at the fight and different things. And I'm just like, you see one paradigm of it or one perspective of it in one book, and
mhm.
then you're seeing what it was transpiring in that actual moment, like not
Yeah.
being the fly on the wall. And it's so cool. It's just like your mind is just going like this as you read your books because they're so good.
Yeah, I mean, at first I thought I was insane to do, like, because oftentimes when you get a series that's long like that, it's just one continual line of
Yeah.
a timeline, and I chose to make each one the beginning of the same exact school year.
Yeah.
So, that did allow us the chance to see things that were happening, you got Royal running through a graveyard,
Yes. Yes.
sees
Yes.
Lennon
Yes.
from the 2nd series. It's like, just, "Oh." But, like,
Yeah.
I had to be really on top of, like, y'all don't see it because I don't include it in the books usually, but I have everything is dated and, like, so the day of the week,
Yeah.
and then my editor, as she goes through, she's, like, keeping a calendar, making sure that everything lines up perfectly so that we don't have any boo-boos, because occasion it
Yeah.
happens, and, like, I've read things that I've been like, "I think that was a little tiny mistake in the book."
Yeah.
And, like, I try not to do those in my own books because I've seen it happen to other authors because it is hard to keep track of all that stuff and like when things happen and how many days this was. And like if you change a single thing, then it just ripples throughout the entire book and you have to go back and fix things if you find mistakes.
It's so funny, like, imagining it in my mind, I feel like those strings that, that you're connecting all of the things and,
Yeah.
like, it's very, very well done. So if you like I said,
Well,
if you
thank you.
haven't read this series, you need to. So, when you were writing the very intense dynamics and, weaving all of these people together, how did you decide that that's the tone you wanted to write in the beginning, or when that shifted from, okay, it's gonna be 3 books to no, now it's gonna be, 9 or more?
Mhm.
9, is that right? I think it's 9.
Yes, 9. Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, I mean, it's dark. It's so they're dark, but, like, I feel like it's not dark in the way that some books are dark. Like, you know what I mean? Usually, all the horrible stuff that goes on, because there is some horrible stuff that happens, but it's usually coming from outside the group of
Yeah,
4 that we're dealing with. So, yeah, so, like, especially, like, we saw like you said, we saw the bastards. They were rude,
yeah.
just not nice
Very,
people.
very scary.
But then when you dig a little bit deeper, I think I really enjoy digging in and finding out why, if they aren't horrible people, then why are they acting the way they are? And it just like I love a good backstory. Like they all have to have backstory. Like I sit there and I pick at the characters as I start creating a series like this,
Yeah,
just to make sure that each one is very individual. They've all got different interests. So like it's not just I mean, obviously, if they were all part of the same, like, hockey team, then obviously they're gonna have some similar interests, but, like, you would still want to make them each individual, but these guys, I mean, they just all happen to be at the same university, same brotherhood, so that is what they have in common, and then I try to make them each have something a little bit different so that they are unique.
yeah, and they're all dealing with demons, but they're also dealing with their complex feelings for one another and how their dynamic works. And I think you did that
Mhm.
really well because they're why choose. For those of you
Right.
that don't know what that means that like it's a reverse why choose because the female's ending up with 3 males and there could be
Right.
crossing other lines with the friendships and different things like that. So, I think you did
Yeah.
really well in the tension and the way that, we start here and then it progresses and how they each slowly intertwine to then at the end there's this unit of people
Right.
and they're all different even in that dynamic because, they're ending up
Well,
together, but even the way that you wove all 3 of the couple groups, they all were different and they ended up together like, it was really good.
yeah, I mean, that's your big fear when you're doing something like that is you don't like, on one hand, if a series is popular, yeah, you wanna recreate that, you wanna recreate that magic, but you also can't just cookie cutter it, otherwise people get bored with it.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know, like, we had Kingston, Kin, and Archer, all of them fairly good friends, but we had one couple in the bunch of that one, and that one was a surprise to
Yeah.
everyone. We won't say anything about what
Yeah.
that was,
Yeah.
but that was a big "What?"
Yeah.
Because I had so many people question if it was a different couple, and whoops,
Okay.
it's not.
Yeah.
But then, like, in the second group, you've got the 2 that are clearly there's something else that has happened, so there is a whole lot of animosity from the get-go, and then there's the one that's stuck in the middle who's just like, "Please behave."
Yeah.
And then the 3rd one where they all because that one is we'll tell them that one's MMMF.
Yeah.
So you get everybody literally together in that
Yeah.
one, and it's just tricky to make all of those kind of different so that it's fun for
Yeah.
readers when they get going.
And also you do a really good job of, like, describing, like, the worry or the uncertainty and then the acceptance and then the, you know, not feeling, like, wrong about like, you did a really good job of, like, the ones that
Mhm.
weren't sure or who
Mhm.
felt something, but they weren't sure where they wanted to take it or how far they wanted to take it. Like that whole
Mhm.
process, like you were very
Yeah.
sensitive to that topic. And I think you did it really well.
I mean, I think it just takes getting inside their heads,
Yeah.
which I don't know how you would write a book like that if you couldn't just kinda climb in and see what they're doing,
Yeah.
and it's like I got a constant movie reel going up here. It's
I yes, probably, probably. So for those readers who haven't started, where would you recommend they begin on their journey with you?
I mean,
Mhm.
if they want the taste of what the majority of my books are like, I would say start Kingston, probably. That's when I go to book signings, that's what I tell people because, you get the reader who comes up to your booth and they have no idea who you are or what you write. And if
Mhm.
they really want to know what I write, then that's the book that I bring the most of to any signing because I know I will sell individual copies of it to people who are just kind of dipping their toe in to see
Okay.
if they like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did you go about building the world? Because it's set in our time, but you're
Mhm.
building this world of a school along with these fraternity houses and sorority
Mhm.
houses. What was that process like?
Hell. Um, no, I like world building, but it is very complicated to think of all of those little tiny details and like what each again, it's funny because like I also not only did I want each of the groups of characters to be unique to the book each book, I
Mhm.
also wanted each of those brotherhoods to kind of have their own feel. So we had like the old world, kind of old money, I should
Yeah.
say, with Hawthorne Hall, and then the newer money with Bainbridge, and then just the standard frat boys who were pain in the butt, just regular dudes that in fact, they were dudes with a past.
Yeah.
And so we won't say anything else
Yeah.
about that because that's all kind of secret and sneaky what happens with them in that
But
book.
it was
But yeah, I tried
incredible.
to make them
Just have to say
different. Yeah, thank you. That one in particular, that 3rd one, I would sit there, I'd be writing, writing, writing. Wait, how's that person? And I'd look over at my board and I'd be like, "Right, right, got it." I keep
no.
going. It's like the connections between the characters, like, you just wanna make sure that you have all of it right.
Yes.
So, yeah, but, everything, even down to, like, the fact that, like, the first group had, like, initiate, like, games that were
Mhm.
going to be played and things like that, and then you have to, like, literally create those games
Yes.
and the riddles, which I did. I will admit to having a friend helping me with those little riddles because I am not good at stuff like that, but she totally helped me, through that. I mean, stuff like that, just, like, all the different clues that we're dropping all over the place for all the different secrets because they're really just it is a world full of just secrecy and wrongdoings and
Yeah.
all sorts of stuff. It's very complex to come up with, but once you do it, and I wrote those pretty fast too. Like they just consumed me for about 2+ years getting through those 9 books.
Wow.
So
That is fast. That's crazy. They remind me of, like, one giant escape room. Like,
mhm.
you're
Like
dropped into the campus, and it's like,
mhm,
figure it out, find your way out,
yeah.
and it's like it was so good. So, I know this is like asking if you have a favorite child, but which of the characters has been, like, your favorite or who surprised you the most?
Oh,
Or group. You can pick a group, I guess, because then that's a
I
little more
can't
easy.
even, like, I for different reasons, honestly, like, I would say, like, in the first group, like, exploring Canon and his medical issues
Mm.
was really interesting for me, and he kinda holds a special place in my heart just because I have had actually readers that have that particular we won't say what it is, that have reached out that have been like, "Yeah, you kinda got that right," and I was like, "Oh, thank God."
You did.
Yeah, so that one, I would say, like, even the second group, like, I'm always gonna love Daddy Bear.
Mhm.
But while I do, I think Mason kinda was the one who kinda I gravitated toward a lot. Like, I just like, he's funny, but he's also just so dark and complicated. Yeah, so he kinda drew me in that group. And then, I think in the 3rd, well, again again with the daddy, I think I have daddy issues. I did love that whole dynamic, but my favorite character in that group is Wilder. I just love the protective
Yeah.
ones, like, the ones who are just like, "I am going to burn things down now for you."
Yeah, I love well, we talked about
Yeah,
that
he's
on my post about
yeah.
it. I
Yeah.
love
I mean,
Wilder.
it doesn't hurt. I mean, none of the models are really hurting the books. I'm like, "Oh, do I like that one?" I mean, if we're going by covers only, that might even be a different answer. I don't know. Uh,
Yeah, all the covers are delicious. They're so my golly, those guys.
yeah.
Great choices. Great choices. So how was that process? Like, do you picked the
Mm,
covers? Was it
mhm.
hard
Yeah.
finding, like, the ones you wanted, or did they kinda need to jump
Yes, because literally I was looking through thousands of images, thousands upon thousands for each of those books. I kinda had an idea of well, no, I didn't. That's a lie. I went in knowing I liked that particular model that's on Kingston.
Okay.
Andrew Murray, and I was like, yeah, I need him." So I went in and I pulled one of him that I really liked, and I had help that those are all Michelle Lancaster photos. Yeah, I mean, I had her help a little bit. She'd help me with like, okay, this position, that position, maybe this would be good. She's like, this is a little bit more dynamic shot, like especially like the Canon.
Yeah.
Uh, but like she was like, I think you should totally go for this one. And then she really pushed me toward Archer with the suspenders, which the suspenders weren't that they weren't anything when she first gave me that photo, and that turned out to be his like thing. So, and like little pieces of what I see in the images end up in the books because, like, I'm sure you've probably noticed, Kingston has a necklace. It
Mhm.
has an arrow on it. It is somebody's necklace that he
Yeah.
wears, and it's in the book. Cannon actually also wears a bracelet.
Mhm.
Now, it's not an actual medic or
Yeah.
bracelet, but I say it is.
Yeah.
Archer with his suspenders. So, like, I just picked little things out of each, image that I went across and kinda used those to flesh out those characters, but, yeah, it's a real rough job, let me tell you, you're just
Yeah.
scanning through all of
So
these
hard.
images, and
So difficult.
so tough, so tough. Yeah, and
I feel so
Michelle's
sorry for you
real
that you had to do that.
Michelle's so mean to me. She sends me all of these shoots. She's like, "What do you think about him?" I'm like, "Wow, let me tell you." Yeah, so I've done that many a time with
Yeah.
her. She's done a good majority of the images for, the books that I've done. There are very few that are not her at
Yeah.
this point.
They're really good. I like them. I like
Yeah.
them. Yeah, I went to a fantasy ball, and that's where I met Tyler. He was one of the
Yes.
cosplayers there, and I have several books
Mhm.
that I have with him on it from other authors that I've read their books, and he's the cover model, and I was like, "Can you sign these?" It was fun. It was
Yes.
very
I
fun.
actually there's, one of the girls on my ARC team is I guess she calls herself a handler, like, at those sorts of events,
Yeah.
like, she helps the talent that's there,
Yeah.
and she works with him, and so when she saw me put that cover out, she immediately bought that. I think she actually read Wilder first before she read any of the other books, which is hilarious because it's the 9th book in the series. I'm like, "What are you doing?" But she's just like, "I love it." And she's like, um, I'm gonna be with him at an event." And I'm like, "Really?" I was like, "If I send you a book signed by me for you, would you have him sign one for me as
Yeah.
well and then send it back to me?" And she's like, "Of course I would." I was like, "Hey." So, yeah, I have one that he's signed as well that just sits in my special library.
Yeah.
I was like, think we're trying there was an event that was being worked on, I don't know if you've heard it, and it's got a different name each time it pops up. It's like a fantasy event generally where they have these cosplayers, but they had also invited authors in,
Yeah, was it
and
in
we were
Michigan?
supposed Nope, this one was in California, maybe?
Oh, Love and Lit Con? No, Romanticon, that's one of them.
definitely wasn't like a standard book signing. It was
Okay.
more heavy on the cosplay. It was a different it was like a company putting it on almost, I believe. Anyways, there is supposed to be one, and we were supposed to both be at that, and they had to move back the date, so I think that's still coming.
Okay.
But
Is
I
it if it's in San Diego, that there's the Books, Gowns, and Crowns that's coming up. They
mm,
do kind of
yeah,
pop-up
it's not it
events,
either.
but
Yeah.
I'll have
No,
to see.
yeah, it was in, like, I wanna say that one was is supposed to be in San Francisco
San
is
Francisco,
where it
okay.
is. But they did the first of those sorts of events
Mhm.
this past year, and then they were gonna do another one this year. I don't know when it's gotten pushed to. I don't it takes time to get all these
Yeah,
authors, as well as all the, cosplay,
yeah.
people all signed on to do them.
Well,
So,
if
are you going to be any events in San Diego this year?
yeah, so I'm volunteering at Spicy Reads for one day, and then I get to if you're a volunteer, then you get to go the second day. Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
awesome. Well, I'll see you at Spicy Reads then.
Oh, yay! I'm excited.
Yeah,
Okay, I wanna bring
see you
my
there.
book. Are you doing a pre-order?
I do have a pre-order up. Yep, it's in the event page in there in Columbus in July, and then I'm at Sinners and Stardust out in Boston,
Okay.
and then Be Love Spread Love in Nashville in October.
Nice, very nice. Which of the characters were the hardest to write, like, emotionally?
Mm,
Or a
let me
difficult
think
to
about
write in general? Like, you just kinda maybe didn't flow off the page onto the pages.
I mean, I think Royal was a little bit hard for me because I had to kind of make him mean at the beginning. I mean, if you got stuck going where he went for years, then yeah, I guess he would be a little mean. So he was a little, but I did love once he got involved with the other three. I was like, well, hi, Royal, because he hadn't told me that at the beginning. Like, I did not know what was going to happen later. So
So you're right there with us. Oh, I love that.
yep, I was with you. I was like, "Oh, what are you doing there on the couch, boys? What's going on? What? Wait, what is this, like, undercurrent that is happening?" And I was just like, because I kind of felt it a little bit in some early scenes, and I was like, because Nurse Wilder's taking care of everybody, and I was like, "What's happening here?" So I would say Royal was a little bit difficult. I wouldn't say the first 3 were hard for me. Maybe Kingston again, like, I don't enjoy it. I do enjoy it, but it makes me mad when they have to be mean to them, like, especially that first scene or a couple of first scenes with Elliot. I was like,
Yeah.
"Kingston, that was rude, man." But, yeah, so those were a little difficult. I actually liked all of Mason's naughty ones like that, though, like,
Yeah.
the whole literally, I'll tell people this, I'll spoil away. Literal first scene with Mason, he's got her in a chokehold.
Yeah.
I'm like, "What the heck?" I was like, "Ooh, I like this guy," but he was just dark and delicious, so, yeah, I don't know, it's generally when that is the part that I find difficult is, like, I do have a hard time being mean to characters, like, I usually have to psych myself up to do it because 'cause I'm
Yeah.
like, "Okay, you're gonna have to really be mean now.
Yeah.
It's time to be mean."
Even Royal, the first part of that book, I'm just like, "That's so aw you did like, what are
Mhm.
you doing? I wanna slap you." Like, it's just, like, so many moments, and then later on, you're
Yeah.
just like, so,
Yeah,
yeah,
you realize all the crap that he's been through and what he's thinking has
yeah,
happened, and
yeah,
yeah, and like you said earlier, there's stuff that just sometimes is not what it seems.
yeah. It's very twists and turns, and if you like that dynamic in a book, this one has a plethora of
Mhm.
that. So then on the flip side, who
Yeah.
just kinda, like, fell out onto the page and you had no issues with writing them?
Probably Archer, like, and I don't even think I'm that funny, but I think Archer's really funny, like, what the heck, man? Yeah, he's pretty easy for me. Bear is actually pretty easy for me to write as well. Yeah, I would say those 2 were the easiest ones for me to write, and I don't know why, and every time I think back to other characters that I have written, and I was like, "Oh, well, I see there are pieces of that one hiding in some of these ones that you like writing so well, like some of the same aspects of those
Mhm.
characters
Yeah.
kind of trickle into other characters, and I think it's just because I, like, enjoy writing some of those characters
Yeah.
like that are just kinda especially the funny ones, which I never would have thought. Because again, I don't think I'm that funny, but it's
It's in
alright.
there. It has to be. It has to be in there. So, what does a typical writing day look like for you? Do you have like a certain number of chapters? Do you put on music, no music? What does that kind of look
Okay, so I really am a morning person. And I am typically in here by 8 and writing, assuming I have plot. If I
like?
don't have
Okay.
plot, I might be sitting here plotting instead. But I would say in the last year or so, I mean, it's been a little sketchy. I don't recall if you know what happened last year with me.
No.
Yeah, I had a whole brain bleed situation happen.
Oh,
Mhm. Yep, I was down for the count for quite a long time.
wow. Oh,
I
I'm
was in the hospital
sorry.
for, like, a full week, and, yeah, I pretty much spent an entire year last year recovering. So, I've just now gotten back to where I can write upwards of, like, 6 to 8 hours a day if I need to, as where I could only
Mhm.
just do a couple 100 words at a time.
Wow.
Earlier last year, like a year ago, I wasn't even writing, not at all. So that's probably why you've seen less books come out from me in
Yeah.
the last year or so.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so typically I will do like I use this thing called Pacemaker, and I can plug in, like, when my editing date is and, like, what days off I wanna take, and, like, it'll tell me exactly how many words per day I should be doing to reach that goal. And so
Okay.
then if I want to come in under deadline, I will just do more than that amount on those days, and I'm pretty good about sticking to it. I'm really bad about taking vacation days though, so, I usually do come in under deadline for the most part.
Yeah.
But, yeah, as for music, no music, it kinda depends. I cannot plot with music on. I can write with music, and then I have playlists that I listen to, usually pretty book specific, and those are all on Spotify, and I think I've got most of them in the front of my books at this point too, where it shows what I was listening to, and it's not any particular I wouldn't say it's any particular scene, per like, some like, I know some people are like, "Oh, here's chapter 1 and here's chapter 1's song." I can't do it like that, it just doesn't
Yeah.
work, it's just more of like a vibe,
Vibes.
for
Yeah.
the most part for me, and occasionally I will get stuck on one song on repeat, just until
Keep
I get
listening
done with
to
that
it.
scene.
Yeah. I like
Yep,
that.
just over and over and over again. My daughter laughs because she's gonna be 23 here next week, and she's like, "Do you realize that your, like, Spotify thing, it shows that you listen to that song, 3,000 times?" I believe it, I believe it,
That's
because it was
awesome.
on repeat for a long time.
Yeah. You're like, there was a reason. It was helping.
I
I
mean,
love that.
sometimes it's just and it's like, even I think it's because if it's the same song sometimes, and if I'm really into something, like, it helps not having it change songs so much.
Yeah.
Because, like, I'm too into what I'm doing, and I don't wanna be distracted by listening to what song's playing or what the words are or what they mean, I just need the vibe,
Yeah. And
and so
also if
that's
it
how I
switches to something really different, right? Like if it was one type of
yeah,
sound, like a really deep bass, and all of a sudden it's like an upbeat, more upbeat song, you're like,
yeah,
it like jars you out of what you were doing.
that does not yeah, that just doesn't work.
Yeah. So your books translate very well into audio. So what was it like if you did? Because I know some authors don't listen to their audiobooks, hearing your books in audio
Mhm.
and then that whole process, how was that?
It's pretty wild. So first, I would say, because obviously the first ones that I had done in audio were Brothers of Hawthorne Hall, and I was lucky enough. I went through Podium, which I don't know if you know a lot about, like, the different avenues you can take to get a book produced in audio, but, Podium, they kinda have control over everything. They own the rights, but they're also paying for everything, which with
Mhm.
audio, if you haven't done very well yet for
Yeah.
yourself, it kinda helps to have somebody pay those
Mm.
thousands and thousands of dollars, and right
Yeah.
out of the gate, they handed me Teddy Hamilton. So
That's so cool.
Thank you, Teddy. So that was amazing. He actually, and you, by the way, he is going to also be at Spicy Reads. So you will get to meet him there if you haven't met
I've
him
met
before.
him
I haven't
actually.
met him before either. I am very excited to meet him. He loved Canon.
Oh.
Loved him. He's like, which is wild because the nonverbal character that he's having to voice. Like, so, but he just loved that idea that he was voicing him. So yeah, it was, or his inner thoughts anyways for most of the book. But yeah, so that was kind of amazing that I got him right out of from the get-go. But they did some like auditions for the 2 subsequent series. Actually, the girls I pretty much just picked each time and they were all available and were able to do it. So I got real lucky with that. The guys on the second 2, they actually did auditions for me so that I could listen to what they sounded like. And I thought they did a pretty darn good job with that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I actually
It's a
met
fun
Teddy.
process.
It is fun. Yeah, I love audiobooks. I met Teddy at an Amy Doss book signing, and I actually asked him if I could do an
Ah,
interview. And I launched a new series because normally I meet with authors to give readers a look behind the book, but I
oh,
was I listen to a lot of
yeah.
audiobooks. I'm like, why don't I reach out to narrators because they're just as a part of this process as the
Mhm.
author is. And he kicked off my narrator
Yep.
series. He was my first ever interview with a narrator. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I
super
think he
fun.
did really well with Can.
He did. He did. And like I am amazed, like those are done in dual rather than duet. I know everybody loves duet right now, but dual, obviously, if a company is producing it, they're going to do what they want to do. And they chose
Yeah.
to do dual with that. But Teddy just did an amazing job with all of the characters. So I was like, I could always tell when it was Cannon's internal voice. I could tell when it was Kingston. I could tell when it was Archer and obviously when it was Elliot. But like he did an amazing job doing it
Yeah.
like that. So yeah, I love that. And like they give us files after they're finalized. We get to listen. And so I did listen to all of them. And I forgot at one point that it was my own book. And I was like, what's going to happen?
I love
This is
that.
your book, you idiot. And I was just so into it and listening to what they were saying. I was like, and then I was like, "Oh, right, I know what's happening."
But that's
Which,
great.
I mean, I've read a lot of books, so we'll just chalk it up to me like having a lot of plot lines in my head. But at first I was like, no, wait, what?
Right. I
Yeah,
love
but
that.
it's fun. I love I actually probably don't go back and read my own books because after I've read them 20 million bajillion times as I'm editing them, it gets to be a little much. But I would go back and listen for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I
So
think all the
I like them.
narrators did a great job with, like you said, changing
Yeah.
their voices so that everyone had a distinct voice as far as the male characters, because each book has
Mhm.
3. And then
Yeah.
even the
Yep.
ones that did like where you have spin-overs of, the other guys in the other guys' books and they're talking,
Mhm.
the narrator for that book is now
Yeah.
talking for 3 more people. They even did well with that, with like
Right.
kind of keeping that tone of that character. Like I even thought that was really good. So I
Yeah.
almost wondered, I was like, did they go back and listen to the other audiobooks like to hear how those people like use
No,
the
I'm not
tones?
sure. Yeah, because they I mean, they just they did not ask me for any
Mhm.
information like I was actually that's not actually true. They have you fill out a pretty good form that's like where the crossover characters are
Uh-huh.
so that maybe they did go back and say, "Hey, yeah, this character appears in this book and you might need to have a listen just to make sure it doesn't sound too far different."
Yeah.
But I don't know how much that actually goes into that. I mean, narration is it's tough. Like I love what like I a lot of these that are now doing like live narration on
Uh-huh.
TikTok. Love that.
Yes.
We had one that when we were doing Wait in the Truck, we had our cowboy on doing live narration and I was like, wow,
It
that's
broke
so
my
fun.
brain.
Um Did a little
There's
bit
a
because that man, I don't know where that voice comes from, but that does not look like what's in my head, which is fine. But I was like, whoa, because it sounds like it should.
Yeah.
which is great. It sounded exactly like him too.
That's awesome. I just did an interview with Stephanie Rose, and she does live narration. She is
Mhm.
on like every day and does like an hour or two. So it's really cool to see the behind the scenes of how a book comes to life. And so was there a scene or a moment that kind of hit you differently listening to it in audio, like
Ooh.
versus you reading it?
I mean, I think the ones that really get you are the really, like, massive, like, action scenes because, like, you get all the, their intake of breath and, like, all the, you can tell that they're actually, trying to voice act those
Yeah.
parts, those scenes especially, I would say. Like, I'm just thinking in particular, like, some of the final scenes of a couple of those books
Mhm.
where you're just like, "Oh my gosh," and, the stakes are super high, but you can just tell in their voices that they are. I really like those. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I think it lends a lot to it to have someone acting like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. It gives it more intensity. So, yeah, I like that. So, I thought we could do a couple would you rather questions, dark romance edition. I thought they would be fun. So would you rather rule the academy or burn it to the ground?
What did they do?
Well, I guess in regards to like maybe keeping the vibes of your story, like which are you
I
gonna do?
guess I'm gonna burn it to the ground.
All right. All right. So would you rather lay low or seek revenge?
I'm seeking revenge every time.
Revenge.
Yep.
Okay. Would you rather trust no one or trust the wrong person?
I'd rather trust no one.
Yeah, me too. Would you rather a slow burn or an instant obsession?
Both. I like
Both.
both. I like the angst and the yearning of the one, but the instant gratification of the other. And see,
Yes.
that's why choose, because you can have that with one character and then the other with a different one. See?
Exactly. I like that. Would you rather enemies to lovers or lovers to enemies?
Oh, I mean, enemies to lovers is so common. I do like it when it goes kind of enemies to or lovers to enemies and back to lovers.
Okay. So pick that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So would you rather the Brothers of Hawthorne Hall, the Bastards of Bainbridge, or the Brutal Boys of Cin?
Rude. You just said you were gonna make me pick because they were like my children. But if I had to walk in to any one of those environments, let me think for a second because
Because you're
they're
also
all
living there.
really
So you have to deal with
I
all the other
know.
stuff.
That's what I'm thinking. There's like some real jackasses in some of those houses. I mean, I could probably manage Brutal Boys of Cin easier, but that was, I
Mhm.
think, the scariest plot.
Yeah.
Their house itself, though, I didn't feel like there were too many,
Yeah.
else that were that bad,
Yeah.
as where the other ones, there were some kind of
Yeah. Yeah. There's some questionable things going on there.
yep,
So you're
people
going with
hide
them?
in places,
Yes.
like
Yes. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. It's like I said, it's like an escape room gone very wrong.
mhm, yep, I do love that. I love that analogy.
Yeah. Okay. Who do you feel is the most unhinged character?
And we're just talking about Kingston University right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Are we talking about main characters or all characters?
Well, I don't want to give spoilers, so maybe main
Mhm,
characters.
mhm, okay, so the most unhinged main, I would say, is probably Mason. I mean, it's gotta be Mason,
Mason.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. What is a fan favorite versus your favorite? And are they the same?
I get a lot of fan favorites for canon, so that would be very similar to me, although, I really have a soft spot for all 3 of them for different reasons.
Yeah.
Trying to think too, I actually have a lot of people that don't like Mason,
Okay.
which and probably actually, let me take that back. There's one that's worse than that. The one that I think nobody like, I don't think there are fans of this poor guy, and, if you're out there and you are a fan, please let me know. Duke has
I
like no
love
fans.
to.
Like
I love
like
to.
I love the angst of the oh my god, she's my stepsister.
Yeah. And I love the secret that he finally tells her and how sweet that is. Like,
Yes.
he's a toasty marshmallow.
He is on the inside, he just doesn't want anybody to know. And I
Yeah.
kind of like it makes me wonder if they actually finished the last book, honestly. Or
Yeah.
did you get the
Yeah.
epilogue? Because I have epilogues, you just have to click and download them. And now, did you see that I put these all out as omnibuses in ebook form as well? And I
No.
included the epilogues now so people can get access to those without signing up for anything extra.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, those can like they're similar to the cover that I did
Uh-huh.
is the same discrete omnibus cover that I'm taking to signings and everybody loved it
Okay.
so much. I was just like, you know what? We're gonna put these 3 books all into one volume since they've been
Mhm.
for 3 years now, 3
Yeah.
years. We're just gonna put them each into their own volume and push them out and see if that doesn't get a new group of
Yeah.
eyes on them just because it's something that looks different, and it does have all 3 books plus each epilogue in each of those. So, yeah, it makes me feel like they didn't read the
Yeah,
final
I think
book.
they must have not listened, like, or really read
No.
clearly because he's so good. I loved him. I mean, you don't like him for a lot of the books. You're like, wanna smack him upside the head and or
Well,
shake him and say, "What's wrong with you?"
he does some jerky stuff,
Yeah.
of course, but, like, he's also dealing with the whole fact that he is her stepbrother, and, like,
Yeah.
how you're sitting there, you got a house full of dudes, and they all watch you, like, ogling your stepsister? Like,
Yeah.
that could be a little awkward.
Yes.
So, I get why he was like he was, but that probably is the character that gets the least love, I would say.
Okay. Well, I love him. I'm Team
Yeah,
Duke, so there we go.
yeah.
What was the most memorable reaction of a reader that you maybe met or wrote you after they got to a certain book? Was there somebody that just really like something they said really stood out to you?
Oh gosh. I don't know if I can think of anything in particular in terms of what people say. I mean, I do remember, of course, the one girl who had the same medical issue as
Mhm.
Canon. That was
Yeah.
very sweet. She did a whole like 5-minute TikTok talking about it. So I did like that. I've actually had people tattoo themselves. And I was like, wow. So there are Kingston University logos running around on people's skin. And I was
Oh,
like,
I love that.
"Oh my
I want to
god."
do that. I
Like,
have I have books
yeah,
on
I
my arm.
figured.
I'm totally gonna do that.
I was like,
Love that.
"Holy crap." Like, that's another level when that sort of thing happens. I was like,
Mhm.
"Really?" They're like, "Yeah, I really want to do it. Can I?" I was like, "I mean, I I I don't think I could stop you, but I mean, if that is something you feel strongly enough about and that you love the books like that, of course I would love to see it when you're done." And you know, they
Yeah.
sent it to me and I'm like, "Oh my gosh." I think there was at least 3 at this point that have done that. And I was like,
Wow.
it's
Oh,
just
that's cool.
it's kinda wild. Yeah, because 'cause I'm like, that was not anything I was, like, expecting ever.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's really cool. So who do you feel is the most chaotic character? I have the idea of who I think it is, but I want to see if yours is the same as mine.
It's chaotic. I mean, you could go the easy route and say Mason, but Beckham is easily a little bit like that too.
Yeah.
He he's a little nuts.
Yeah, I was gonna say Beckham, but I also think because Mason's like the obvious, like
Mhm, mhm.
he's the obvious, but I think Beckham is the close second in there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he does some stuff.
So this is kind of hard again, but it's a fun question, and I usually like
Mhm.
to ask authors. But you have a pass that you could pick multiple because it's a why choose. So
Sure.
out of your main male characters, who would you date? Who would
Mm,
you marry? And who would you kick to the curb? And you could pick groups, like if you say I want these three, or
mhm,
however it
mhm, mhm.
lands.
I mean, because they all do have their own dynamics, and I'm like,
Mhm.
do I fit into those dynamics? I'm really not sure. What do you even pick? I think Out of the first 3, and I'm going by characters, not covers,
Okay.
I would say if I was gonna pick, well, let me just pick one from each. I think I would pick Archer from the first one. Just
Okay.
funny.
Okay.
And I really appreciate the way that several times he took care of Elliot and, like, he was very sweet to her.
Yeah.
And the fact that he did feel like he was, like, kinda like the odd man out for a while
Yeah.
till the very end, because he wasn't the first one that she went to,
Yeah.
but he was the one that was very much a friend to her as well.
Yeah.
So I think I like that aspect too.
Okay.
Um, the second group, I think I would probably have to pick Bear.
Okay.
I mean, I like a guy who'll take care of me.
Yes.
My own husband, we've been married 30 years as of next week, and I like a man
Congratulations.
who takes care of me. Thank you. Yeah, so I like him. We'd have to give him a little help with his little issue, though, so, like, can't be having that, but
Yeah.
yeah, I do like him,
Okay.
probably also because, honestly, it's gonna be, like, the more protective ones are the ones that I
Yeah.
tend to, like, feel drawn to. Um, but I like him for that, and then Wilder is the same, like,
Yeah.
I probably like him for that as well. Um,
Okay.
although Royal does make a really good daddy. My
Yes.
children are older now, so
Yes. So, out of your female main characters, who would
Mm,
be your best friend? Who would be your roommate? And who would you take on a road trip?
God. My best friend, roommate, road trip. I think the road trip's gotta be Lennon. I'll be friends with Echo.
Okay.
And then, obviously, that leaves Elliot for the roommate, which she's really very studious, and that's very much the way I was in college. She probably is the one that I am most closely connected to, that I feel she is the most like me.
Mhm.
I like living with somebody who I'm similar to.
Similar too. Yeah, I like that. So, what, in
Mm.
your opinion, makes a great story?
Oh gosh. I mean, there's gotta be something that connects for the reader. I mean, beyond that, and who knows what that is for each reader, and I think that's what's so interesting is that every story kinda has the capability of reaching a different sort of person, and you might reach somebody for a different reason on every single story. I'm pretty sure I saw something on Instagram just this morning that was just like, "I love this because, sometimes readers just really love this, but then the other ones are DNFing it," and I'm like, well, there's a story for every reader, honestly. There are going to be authors that they connect better with. I mean, obviously, there are some of us that have, like, these backstories of our own that all bleeds right on into our writing. Me personally, I don't feel like that's so much me. Like,
Mhm.
I haven't had a lot of these issues. However, I feel like in writing these characters, like, I get to step in and kind of feel what that, I mean, as much as someone who hasn't experienced it can, like, getting
Yeah.
into somebody else's, like, trying to get into kind of their psyche and trying to figure
Like
out how
empathize.
empathize with them, see what it's like to have gone through something like that, and just kind of really dig in and figure that out. So, yeah, I so to be honest, for everybody, I think it's gonna be a different answer, what actually
Mhm.
connects readers, but, like, if you're telling a good story, I think there will be somebody who it is
Yeah.
their favorite story, like,
Yeah.
and obviously that's, I mean, we have a whole group of people who read all of my arcs, and then I have people who have never read my books and
Yeah.
probably never will, and that's okay.
Yeah. I
So,
love your books. I love your books.
well, thank you.
So, on that same vein, is there any that we can look forward to soon, or are you still just in the writing cave right now and not saying anything?
Well, we did just Shauna Murray and I just released Hell of a Show, like, 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, I think 3
So,
weeks ago.
yeah, so that's the Cowboys, and for right now, we aren't sure if there's going to be any more of those. We're just
Okay.
kind of undecided. Did we leave the door open? Absolutely. What, I mean, why not? But we also did not leave that sucker on a cliffhanger of any
Yes.
sort.
Thank you for that.
So, yeah. Yeah, and we both like I said, I had a year last year. She had a year personally last year. So it just took everything we could to get the second book out. So that's kind of off of our plate. So I'm working on other things. I'm working on my second in the Dark Falls. I lie. I'm working on my third in the Dark Falls Hollow series. Because Carnage Rules comes out in 2 weeks.
I know. I'm so excited.
Yep, that one's coming out, and it picks up right where Hysteria Rises left off and dump you straight back into that world that is absolutely terrifying,
Yes.
and it just keeps right on going from there, and I'm starting to get reviews in from ARC readers at this point, and they are disturbed.
I love it. I can't wait to read it.
So then after that, it's Mayhem Riots is coming probably in the fall. I am only maybe 3 chapters in.
Okay.
But it'll take me a little bit at the pace that I'm able to go right now. I expect it to be done by August and then into editing and out that fall.
Awesome. I'm excited. We have so many good books coming. Yay.
Yes.
I love
Yes,
that.
yes. Yes, and then I have little things up my sleeve that I don't know when they'll be appearing, but I kind of have things on the back burner in my head that
Okay.
I've wanted to do for a while, one of which is just a straight, possibly standalone. I have a couple of cover images that I've been looking at for a while and kind of percolating on. That's where I usually start, is with a cover image.
I can't wait for that. Definitely do that.
Yep.
Definitely let us read it. I love that. So my last question for you is, what message do you want readers to take away from after finishing your books?
Oh my gosh. Hopefully that I'm not a crazy person. No, I hope that because I do believe in that happily ever after. Like, I'm not one who's going to go out there and write a romantic tragedy for you. I don't think that that doesn't appeal to me, and that's not what I like writing. Of course, like right now it feels like Dark Falls Hollow is a big old tragedy, but that will also, I promise, at the end of the fourth book end happily ever after. So I mean, I hope they see that people from all kind of walks of life and all different personalities, and that everybody is deserving of love and can find that. So
Yes. Love that. I love that. Well, thank you so much for coming on today and talking about your work. I'm very excited. I cannot wait to meet you at Spicy Reads. I'm going to bring all my books. I'm going to order the books I don't have, and then I'm going to bring the books I have with
awesome.
me, and I'll get to meet you. And thank you for sharing your stories with us and writing what you love and letting us read it.
Of course.
This is
Thanks for
really
having
good.
me. It's been fun.
Of course. So if you like Why Choose Romance, or you have a friend that likes darker themes and Why Choose, definitely pass these series over to them, and be sure to like and subscribe. And if you follow, that way you can find out what she's coming out with next, so you have more reading material. And be sure to like and subscribe. If you're willing to leave a comment below for me, that helps more readers find my channel, and in turn find these amazing authors that I bring to get a look behind the book. And happy reading, and see you next time.